obviously a lot of optimism out of last week. This week, what sort of went wrong? Why couldn't you replicate what you were able to do last week this week against the Giants?
Yeah, there's clearly something going on playing here at Optus in our first quarters the last few times we've played here. So we're going to have to do a really deep dive on what's our planning during the week and how we're going with that, because something like it looked like we didn't quite turn up in quarter one tonight, and it was the same in the Carlton game. So we're going to look inwardly and find out what's happening there. But it was a comprehensive beating tonight. We just sort of got beaten in every phase of the game. I thought Giants were sharp, and I thought they exposed us in every way.
It looked like the Giants played the way you're trying to implement. Is that one of those things, though, you can use as a teaching moment for this young squad to say this is what it looks like when you get it right at the peak of your game?
Yeah, potentially. Like I think there's some similarities to what we're trying to do to what the Giants do, and they're really experienced. They've been doing it for 3 years now, and they've got some really quality players that have elite reaction time, and the game's built on contest. Like that's the reality of it. And we got beaten by mid-30s or whatever it was tonight, so the game gets challenging. But part of what we're going through is we'll learn lessons against every team we play. Sort of get sick of losing them when you're losing, but you have to, and we have to find a way to keep getting better.
Do you feel like athletically, Andrew, you can run with teams like that? They look so powerful once they got the footy.
Yeah, they did look fast tonight, and they are fast, the Giants, and we didn't quite look as sharp as we have. So we'll look into that. Hasn't been a massive theme, I don't think. Our running has been okay for a large part of this year, but wasn't quite there tonight.
Did you get what you expected from them, from your scouting? Was it the type of game you thought they'd play?
Yeah, it was.
When you did manage to get a bit of control in the game, though, your forward connection just didn't seem to work at all. Was it disposal? Was it set up? Was it the way the Giants set up? How did you sort of see that? Yeah,
it's a bit of an issue in our game at the moment we're working through. We didn't quite. We're lacking a bit of efficiency in our front half. So there's multiple reasons for that. It's not a single answer, and we're working our way through them. But unfortunately, we're just not quite connecting as much as we like. We only had 6 marks inside 50. We had a lot of forward 50 stoppages tonight, but couldn't score from them. It's a bit of work to do.
Especially the kicks to Liam Ryan, a lot would just way above his head. So how hard does that make it, especially for him, the height that he is?
Well, yeah, I think that if any forward in the competition, if you don't have it to your advantage, you're going to struggle.
Jack Williams, who subbed out at half time, obviously a bit of a chicken of the egg, couldn't get his hands on the footy, but you couldn't really get it to him. What was the decision behind that, to shake up the forward line a little bit and make it a bit smaller?
Yeah, we had Malachi there. Just thought that we weren't having much luck in our forward line, so we thought we'd change the mix and try something different. We threw Hutchie down there for a quarter and changed a couple of things up, and unfortunately to no effect tonight.
You threw Shanahan behind the ball in that first quarter there for a bit. What did you make of him just adjusting to that and then going back into attack later on?
Yeah, so I think Job's played both ends of the ground, which has been great for us, and he reads the ball flight so well and is composed, so we just we had to try and take the heat out of the game. Giants were all over us there for periods, so we tried to do that, and it worked a little bit at times. Was able to take the heat out of it, but it's a great trait that Job's able to do that for a young player.
Yeah, for a second game player to be able to do that and look composed in the role, what does that show for his future composure and just about his future?
I think it shows how much faith we have in Job. That's probably one big thing that it shows, that we just think he's a good player already, and he's calm and he can handle a situation, and it's exciting.
Andrew, how did you see Harley Reed's game tonight? He got a lot of ball, a lot of tackles, but there was a lot of other things going on as well. How did you rate it?
Yeah, I thought it was a game of what ifs almost. He was really close. He was in the game. He was up for the fight tonight. Potentially lost his attention a couple of times, which we'll keep working with him. But he's an ultimate competitor. If we could get every player to compete like Harley and want to go about their business like that, we'd be happy.
He seemed to have improved, I guess, in that aspect this year, not as drawn into the sort of niggly sort of stuff. But tonight there was something with Tom Green that just wasn't so right. Did you,
Yeah.
have you spoken to him about that?
No, I haven't spoken to him, and I'm not sure what it is. But I thought a few of our players lost their attention tonight, which we're going to have to work on and make sure that we are putting our attention in the right spot.
You're obviously deep into your first season. What have you learned about the group that you didn't know beforehand? And is there certain things you're finding out about players that will help you in the future, not just this season?
Oh, it's such a wide-ranging question. I don't have a short answer for you, but we're learning a lot, no doubt. I think even tonight we're still fighting. We fought to the end. We didn't get a lot right tonight, but we're still trying to fight our way through it. We're clearly on a journey as a footy club. We're in a position now where we're playing a pretty young team, and we're going to have some ups and downs, and we just got to try and keep it as consistent as we can.
When you are coaching a team, I think it's 16 players, 25 are under today. When you're coaching a young team like that, how do you sort of keep on message, I suppose, or not get frustrated considering you're getting beaten, but they're also very young?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's Bally's laughing over there because I do get frustrated, and they do get super frustrated, and we want to win every game we're in. And we're just going to keep competing and fighting and working our way through this. And we're seeing enough of our young players that if we get the work right and we get our system and the way we do things right, it's going to turn around. And we'll keep focusing on what we do, and then the outcomes will take care of themselves.
Just back to that Harley Reed, Tom Green kind of tit for tat battle. I mean, fans, they love seeing that sort of stuff. What's it like for you as a coach?
Look, I think you always love the best players in the competition going up against each other, and they spent a lot of time on each other at stoppage tonight. I think that's great. We want to see that, and we want to see it in the right spirit.
Yeah, but in terms of like the little niggles, like one niggle, then retaliation for the retaliation, things like that. What's that like for you?
It's awesome. It's what footy's about. It's like, as long as it doesn't cross a line, I love the competitiveness of the game, and I hope all of our players do.
What did you make of Malachi's debut tonight, and is he someone that could potentially see a bit more of in the back half of the year?
Yeah, he what could have been for Mally, couldn't it? He had 4 shots on goal, I think, in the end, or three potential shots on goal. I thought he was consistent in his role, which is what we've seen at the waffle level from him, and he provided something for us. So, we'll go away and look at his game on tape and see where that goes next week.
With guys like that, do you almost have to hold your nerve keeping them in the team to see what more they've got for the rest of the year, is so that you've got a better idea come the end of the season heading into next year?
Look, not really. I think we'll just pick the team based on what we think can win every week. I know I keep saying that and it gets boring for you, but we are going to learn about players this year. We already are. So when they earn the right to play, we'll play them, and we'll learn about them either at AFL level or waffle level.
How do you find that balance between last week? You obviously performed so well against Tom Tape. You gave fans something to really hope for, and then you start this game how you started today. How do you find that balance in between, somewhere in the middle where you can find a consistent line?
Yeah, so I think that's probably what I alluded to at the start. Like there must be something with myself and our coaching group and the way we're setting the week up when we have a decent performance that we're not quite able to back it up at the moment. So we'll look into it really closely, and really we need to get more consistent performance, because our good can be pretty good and can be dangerous, but at the moment, unfortunately, our floor is pretty low.
Thank you.